Raising our children was filled with joy, excitement, and fear. Nancy and I waited 5 years for our first child. The day we brought him home was one of the greatest days of our lives. That night, as I looked at him asleep in his bed, fear set in as I thought, I have no idea how to raise this child. I'm Dr. Kim, and I lead Awesome Marriage. So my search for parenting answers took me to Proverbs 22:6. Direct your children onto the right path, and when they are older, they will not leave it. Wow, that made so much sense. So Nancy and I committed to pray for him, to surround him with Christian friends and families, to be in a good Bible-teaching church, and with God's help, to be role models that honored our faith. Then I wondered if we did all of the above, would that guarantee that our children would live the life that God designed for them? And then my mind raced to Christian couples we knew whose children were choosing their own path instead of God's path for their life. Then I thought of examples from the Bible, and I thought all the way back to Adam and Eve as one of their sons murdered the other. What was wrong here? It seemed like these parents were trying to do the right things, all of them. What I learned is that in the Bible there are promises and there are principles. Promises from God are declarations from Him that give us the right of expectation because God never fails to keep His promises. Principles are the things that the Bible teaches us that apply to how we live our lives. God's promises tell us what God will do. Well, it's principles or what God says we should do. Proverbs 22:6 provides us with a principle. For us, that began to soak in, and actually it took a heavy weight off of us. Nancy and I were to teach and train our children in the ways of God. We were to be obedient to God in our role as parents. That was what we were supposed to do. God would be with us every step of the way. He gave us wisdom, encouragement, and guidance. It was a partnership between us and God that allowed us to release our children to Him. It became clearer and clearer to Nancy and me that God really did love them more than we did. We realized we never had sovereignty over our children in the first place, but God did. He would complete them in the plan that He used to help us begin. So if you're a parent, your part in training up a child in the way he should go is to follow God. Then teach your child about following God and trust God to complete the rest.